Just you wait to listen for the storm. Hear the difference in the wind. When dark clouds form and start to turn, I'll run again. Far away when the hurricane comes in. Well, I'm the only island in the way, but I was born to fight the wind and rain. Sometimes a man will keep himself in shame, mask a painful past he overcame. Oh yes, oh, oh yes. Well, you've been steady, building steam like a thunderhead, armed and ready with the lies you overheard. Well, strike me down like a lightning in the dark. Deliver me the fate I must deserve. Oh, don't you? I just wait and listen for the storm. You can hear the difference in the wind. When the dark clouds form and start to turn, I'll run again. Far away when the hurricane comes in. When the dark clouds form and start to turn, I'll run again. Far away when the hurricane, oh, that old hurricane comes.
How y'all doing out that day on Tariff Day? How y'all doing? Welcome back to the channel. Today, let me turn down my music. All right, there's a lot happening out there. 125% we're looking at right now. Everybody's talking about it. China is the only one that doesn't have the 90-day halt. So, what y'all think about that? What's going to happen? Are things going to go up? I've been looking at all the websites. I've been checking out Banggood, and I don't see a lot changing right now. I don't think anybody's doing any price moves. You know, we should talk about it though, because it's going to affect us all. Everything from toilet paper to freaking a night out at Hooters. But you know what? You can't even go to Hooters anymore. They're closing down all the stores, restaurants closing down. That's what I'm most worried about. Dozens closing down. Can't even go out to a good old American dinner anymore. Yep. So where y'all watching that from today? Let me know where you're watching from in the chat. Let's get a show of hands. If you're here and you're listening, it's kind of a podcast format. One of the last American drone channels still surviving on YouTube. Might not be many of us left after this year. We did a poll in the channel yesterday, guys. Go check it out in the post on the YouTube channel, where you can vote for what you think about current state of things. What you're going to do? You're going to stockpile parts? Are you going to stick it out? You're going to wait? Are you purchasing a bind and fly or a kit now to build some extra parts? What's your angle on this? Georgia, welcome to Get to Digging. One of the few drone channels where it's okay to be American and it's okay to be a white boy. I said it. It's okay to be a black boy too. I ain't racist. CJ Gilly Goo 35 from Michigan. What up, man? T. Roy McCoy said, why would I care what's happening with drones when Trump is fixing the country? So here's my angle on Trump. He's either a genius or a complete madman. One of the two. It's either fixing everything or it's a coup. One of the two. Which is it? I like to lean toward he's fixing everything. But you know, we're just civilians. We don't really quite know what's going on. Everybody does have an opinion though. You should put it in the chat. Let me know what you think. What's up, Ronnie Jr.? Phoenix, Arizona. He says we should keep flying, keep trying to moving forward. The hobby of FPV is full of innovation. Times change and we change. That's for sure. That's for damn sure in this hobby. We've changed a lot in 11 years. I've seen it all. I've seen a lot of come and goes. A lot of people be the next hot pilot. 6 months later, people don't even know who they are. A lot of flashes in the pan. So here's the thing, like, I don't know if y'all remember back, like, after 9/11, gas prices went sky high because we had a national emergency. The Middle East oil pipeline and all that stuff was really screwed up at 9/11. We invaded Afghanistan, and you know, we were looking at prices back then, 2002, like $4.50 or something. And I remember I was at a gas pump, and this news reporter came up to me and she said, so how is this affecting you? And I'm like, pump of gas in my SUV, you know, $4.50 a gallon in 2002. And I looked at her and I said, it's not going to affect me at all because I'm going to still buy gas. I got to go on my weekend trips. When I get off work on Friday, I'm gone. I'm filling up my gas tank and I'm going. Taking my dog, my surfboard, and I'm going to go find a beach somewhere. Did it affect me? Yeah. But do I worry about it now? 20-some years later? Nope. I think about more of the good times I had back then than what I paid at the gas pump. So, and that's kind of how, like, the hobby is. Like, we're going to spend the amount of money to enjoy ourselves and make those memories. You know what I mean? I mean, none of us want to be paying double. And all the FPV companies, they're kind of stuck in the middle of this. Like, you know, speaking about the Chinese FPV companies. But they're kind of waiting around to see what's going to happen. I mean, You haven't seen any price changes yet. How's it going, Sylvia? See if we didn't put her address on there. What the hell? The trolls are here, you guys. This lady done put her address on there. She trying to get somebody swatted. So there will be trolls in this in cast today, for sure. So trolls, I see you. Go ahead and put your bullshit in the chat. I'm not even going to ban you today because I'm going to enjoy some trolls. Get a dig and say you're going to resell it on eBay. Mark that shit up 400%. David Pinfold says Trump sees everything about leverage like a crime boss. Fair enough. Kid Rock too with that outfit. That outfit was crazy. Did you guys see that? He looked like somebody from the circus. Yo, Scott be trying to troll my hat. I wore this for you, Scott. What's up, Dennis from Florida? Welcome to the live stream. What up, Happy RC Flyer? How you doing? Yeah, they hating on my American hat today. The communist trolls are here. Let them hate. Just have some good fun with some trolls. So yeah, man, Hooters is closing down all kinds of restaurants. You know, the world's ending. 125% tariff on China. Look at that. Dozens of restaurants. You can't even go to Hooters right now. What kind of country is this? Yep. Now, this news is pretty much everywhere right now. The tariff pause, I mean, it sent the stock market through the roof. I looked at my stocks this morning, I was like, God damn, I just went up like 8%. So, I think what's happening is he's trying to push Xi into a deal. You know, we're gonna have to see what happens. Maybe Xi will come to the table. I've also been over at DJI this morning looking at their prices. I don't see anything changed here. I keep refreshing the page. You know, Mini 4 Pro still costs $759 with the RC N2 controller. But I'm not one to buy DJI stuff. What we're more worried about is like Gep RC, iFlight, Banggood, AliExpress. A lot of these prices are still the same. Nothing's changed. I don't see nothing. Appreciate that, Happy RC. So, originally I bought this hat last year from Cabela's. I bought it for myself on 4th of July. And Mrs. Camp stole it. And I just stole it back. You know how your wife or girlfriend will steal your shit sometimes. They'll put it on and they'll look in the mirror. And then it smells like perfume for the next 3 years. Yep. If you guys are watching and listening, be sure to like the live stream because YouTube hates drone videos. It's true. Mostly because of Ukraine and the war and all that shit. After all that started popping off, the algorithm changed. I noticed there was a lot more trolls, a lot more haters, and we actually have a lot of foreign adversary haters on my channel. So they'll come in and as soon as I post a video, they'll dislike it. So they're trying to affect this channel. And you know why? Because I promote FPV hobby to all of you guys, all of you Americans. But this channel is kind of a global channel. We've been around for long enough to have helped tons of people around the world. 50 million views. Happy RC Flower said, did you hear TBS is setting up a US factory? I did not hear that. That would be good. So what we're going to see is, speaking of that, we're going to see, now this is going to help us as far as domestically. Ever since I saw the company Unique kind of fold, they went up against DJI a while back. I've noticed there's been kind of a trickle-down effect of a lot of American FPV companies have been going out of business. And we only had a few to start with, so now we're really down. But this kind of feels like, you know, when you were a kid and you built yourself a tree fort. You had the baddest tree fort in the neighborhood. And this one kid that didn't like you, he knew where your tree fort was. He knew where your Playboys were. You got your cigars up there. You know, he came and stole your Playboys, your cigars, and pissed all over your fort and tore up some shit. And now you left to start over again at the bottom. You got no freaking mag. You got no cigars. So, what are you gonna do but rebuild? Get some new mags, fresh material. Now, some of y'all stocked up. AZURC, thanks for the supporter. The DC supporter. Thanks for becoming one. Appreciate that, bro. Jeff Parisi, am I saying that right? He said we were warned months ago. That's true. This has been coming for a long time. It's not like something that just happened. Been a long time coming. Years, in fact. Jeff says he's stocked up. Who else stocked up? Let me know in the chat. I'm stocked up. If you guys need anything, you should head over to our website. Shameless self-promotion. Because what you see right now is cheaper than retail. In the next couple days, it's going to be way cheaper than retail. I'm going to try not to jack up my prices like you're going to see everywhere. So the price on there is going to be same price next week. I'm not jacking my shit up. John D says he needs a Skyzone 020. Man, those are old, Johnny. Those are from back in 2015, I want to say. T. Roy McCoy said, I fly planes mostly, so drones, I get it. I got a bunch of airplanes myself, but I like to slap cameras on them. Matt Andrews said stock is way more shit than I need. Sam Squatch FPV says, I hope DJI FPV gear goes even crazier priced. We can all get back at analog with $25 VTXs and cheap goggle options. So, as of this point right now, there will be no more cheap back in the day 2015, 17 FPV component prices. VTX in the next 6 months might be in upwards of $125 to $200. So I'm just telling y'all. You know, I seen a live stream a couple days ago too. Another YouTuber was talking about, I ain't gonna throw names out there, but you might have watched it. He was talking about his flight controller. He got a new one coming out, and you know, the tariffs are gonna affect everything, even like custom-made flight controllers. And a lot of those guys that they pimp their stuff on their channels, their stuff is made in China. He gets a commission off of it, and not indirectly, directly to his channel, he told everybody that he was just going to make more money. The price of the product goes up, and he's going to make more money. But I think what you have to look out for is maybe less people buy that product. So the more money that you think you might make might be about the same if less people buy. You have to see how that goes. Shit, you have to see how any of this goes. So on our website, if you scroll a little bit down, you can see what we have on there right now. I mean, I've even got stuff like Cadex Vista still. I've got 03, I've got 04 stuff, ready to fly tiny whoops. I even got RC helicopters and planes. So, you know, worst case scenario, you guys can get stuff from me, and you don't have to wait for it to ship from China. And you're not going to get a dud because I flew it. Jet Paris, he said he started printing planes. Made in the USA. Nothing wrong with that, brother. Yeah, happy RC Flower. Maybe we'll start flying what we already have. I always said, like, the guy that has one RC airplane at the field, he's probably a better pilot than the guy who has a whole trailer full. Because you get to know that plane. Same thing with quads. If you fly the same one all the time, I guarantee you're better than me. What's up, Urban Legend RC? I'm wearing my Pro America hat today in the live stream. We had a communist in here earlier saying he didn't like it. It was a dumb hat. You can tell how much I care, right? What's up, Coach? What's that red light for? Red light 34. You got a website? It's posted up there earlier, dronecamps.com. And if you guys want something, just let me know what it is. Click the email link on the website, and it'll take you to little contact form. Just send me a quick email, what you're looking for, what you need, and I'll try to hook you up. David Pinfold asks, was my hat made in China? You're damn right. It's from Cabela's though, Bass Pro Shops. It should be made in America. But I bet 90% of Cabela's is probably made in China. So this affects everything. Except guns. If anybody in the live chat has a Chinese gun, go ahead and let me know in the chat. Just say I have a Chinese gun. I bet not one of you do. And depending on where you buy your ammo, you might not even have some Chinese ammo. I wouldn't shoot that shit. No, thank you. Look at that. You can't even get a proper gun emoji these days. You got Swiss guns. Okay. 3D prints. Ghost guns. Talk about all the thing that YouTube just hates in this live stream. Last American Stand. So you guys watching, where you tuning in from? So we do have to get another community event going here. Spring is coming up. It's gonna stop raining soon, I hope. And we'll do another event. Last year we had a couple events and I made some great friends doing that. So I look forward to meeting you guys again this year. What we should do is set up an event and have some people like from all over the country coming in. My 3D printer is Chinese. It's a Bamboo Labs Carbon X1. I put my review up for that and I messed up and I think it said cut, fuck, you know, whatever, and then I forgot to edit that out. It said there's a bunch of dudes laughing about that. But that's how you know I'm not AI. The quickest way to spot AI is it's just perfect. It never says a cut. Fuck, motherfucker, son of a fucking jeez. Now, I would like to go to Flight Fest. I used to see the flight test guys down at Joe Knoll every year. Josh and those guys. And back in like 2014, I had a Drone Camps tent on the electric flight line right next to flight tests. So it was like all of us out there under the electric flight tent. And a little ways down was the main field. I think Peter was there that year. He was flying a microwave popping popcorn. Why? Because you can't. Because that's Peter. He used to be with Flight Test, spun off and did his own YouTube channel, which is pretty freaking epic. You gotta go check it out. Can't remember his last name. Little Indian dude. Smart ass little freaking guy. He's in his own little world. But I would like to go to Flight Fest. David Pinfold says, problem is ICs made in Taiwan, assembled in China, but the stuff needed to create the factories is made in the Netherlands. Global. Come fly one day in Vancouver, Brad Turner said. You think they'll allow this hat in Vancouver? Talking about Canada, or are you talking about Washington? I don't know the vibe up in BC. What's the drone vibe up there? Are they cool with it? Coach says, what do I think of the influx of AM32 ESCs? Late to the party because I just noticed that. It's a small little wave right now. AM32 is starting to happen, but all the major retailers like Gap RC, iFlight, they're all still using BL Heli 32. And so the problem with BL Heli 32 is we're kind of stuck with the latest update on the ESCs. We can reflash, we can go down, but we can't go up because they decided to close their doors. So that's why people are switching to AM32. Redtail Aerial Imaging says, do some photo work for Chad. Definitely should come show you around Canton. Sounds good. Dennis Smith says, which flight controllers in the ELRS is the best to run in a Mod 7? The best? I think that new H7. Let me look that up. So they have a Taker F722, 65 amp. That would be good. That's $75. 100 amp stack for 8S, which you don't need, is $150. But right now, $75 for 65 amp ESCs, F722. It's not a bad price. See here. Let me show it to you. That's the one I'd run right there. There's a lot of it's like plug and play. All these little harnesses right here. You just plug stuff in. Now what's cool is underneath, you still have tabs. I believe. There's the ESCs. Pretty nice sized tabs here. VBAT in the back. And it'll show the bottom, of course. What processor's that? SCM32 722. Yeah. And you can add GPS to that. Free to 8S. So that one supports 8S too. Now that you're gonna run 8S on a freaking 7.5 inch. But that's what I recommend. Brad Turner says Speedy. Yeah. So as long as you stick to like the main brands, iFlight. Some people like the Blitz flight controllers, some people don't. I haven't had a lot of people saying they didn't like the Taker series. Coach says it's kind of like the firmware for the Vistas, but for BO Heli. Yeah, it's a firmware, ESC firmware that they're putting a stop to. So a lot of these companies like FRC and iFlight, they already have downloaded all of that firmware because they use it in the factory. When they're trying to make a new tune for a new bind and fly, when they ship to you guys, they pre-flash everything for you. And that's why when you get it, it's ready to go. And a lot of the drones I have, I've never updated the firmware on the ESCs. Some people are crazy with that stuff. They have to screw with everything. They have to constantly be tweaking stuff. That's not me. I set it and forget it, unless it gives me a problem. I don't have time to be getting all teched out on just every little tiny specific. I just wanted to fly, enjoy myself. What's up, Chaser? Last American Drone Channel. Still here. So we were talking about trolls, foreign adversary trolls and things like that, and these bots. If you've noticed, there's been a change in like views on FPV channels, like particularly American ones, in the past like 4 years since Ukraine stuff. And there was kind of a smear campaign for a couple of our channels years ago, and a lot of that was caused by a lot of bots. And I got pretty deeply educated on some of that by a friend of mine recently, and what they do behind the scenes to kind of bring these channels down. So if you see any bullshit in the comments, and they don't have any subscribers, no channel history, all that stuff, you know it's a bot. There are bots among us. Coach said, what about HDLRC VTX and flight controllers? I don't see any problem with those either. If you want some of the best VTXs that you can get your hands on out there, get yourself an AKK. But promise me you will use my affiliate link. So AKK makes some of the most powerful VTXs in the world. So the average VTX power out there right now is about 1 to 2 watt to 3 watt. It's becoming the standard. There are some 5 watt ones they make. And get this, there's even a 16 watt VTX that AKK makes. 16 watt. You know how hot that would get on a foamy airplane? That's for like composite fixed wings, because it would just melt right through the foam. ZURC, I don't even care if you're a bot. You gave me some money, so, you know. If you're a computer, thanks. Appreciate you running your credit card. David Pinfold says, what do I think of Open IPC? I think it's pretty great. I just want to see it in my goggles. I want to see it in my sky zones. So, you know, I was talking about my sky zones this week. We were talking about what my favorite goggles are for analog, because analog is still where it's at with tiny whoops and smaller quads, in my opinion, that are under 2S. Now 2S and up, shit, DJI is great. But this one most recently, the Nimble 6.5 HD, it 36 grams with the air unit, the O4 air unit. It's kind of heavy, so you feel that weight when you're flying it. Even in my hand, it feels way different than the Air 6.5 I just built And so with my Air 6.5 combo, I just have more fun with that combo versus this one. Even though the camera is superior, I still have more fun with the analog setup right now because it's just faster and longer flight time, lighter, freestyles. And the O4X are the goggles that I showed in my most recent video. Somebody made a comment, oh, those are the O4Os. Well, you can clearly see right there, they're the O4X Pros. Not the O4Os, dude. People sometimes be talking some bullshit about what they know, and then they don't know. That's the internet. So yeah, these are analog, just to clear anything up there. So somebody emailed me last night and they said, hey Justin, should I buy the Goggles 3? I see the DJI ban coming up, and we had Adam Welsh of DJI write the FCC a letter. Pete Hegseth, Tulsi Gabbard, everybody at the top level of the government trying to persuade and lobby them to stop the possible consumer ban that may be coming up. So he said, should I buy the Goggles 3? And I'm like, hell yeah. I actually thought about having a second pair just in case this pair that I have, my only pair, like what if my only pair dies and then I can't get Goggles 3 here anymore? That would suck. And I sold my original Goggles 1, I sold my V2s, and I sold my Goggles 2. I got rid of them all, and the only pair I have left is the Goggles 3. But I think DJI, if you're listening, you probably already know this, and I'm just preaching to the choir, but you need to have a factory here where you build and assemble your stuff here. If you're the biggest drone company in the world for consumer drones, you need to have a factory here. Get yourself one down in Arizona or North Carolina. It's got cheap land. Go to Georgia. Just watch out for the rednecks down there. Get you a hat like this. Still going to give you that side eye though. What's the best all-in-one FPV camera to put on a mini RC car? This one. It's the Air Unit Mini, or the Light, whatever you want to call it. So who's buying parts? Who's stocking up? I mean, we don't really know what's going to happen yet. Shit's about to get cray-cray. Maybe like a year from now, we're gonna have like crackheads for FPV. Carolina Air Shots, you wanna send me a hat? Hills Minnow Farm hat. All right. Minnow Farm. Damn, they farming minnows? Let's go. This is the official snack sponsor of the channel. Cheeses, organic, all organic right here. Organic ingredients. Made in USA. Get your first drone before the cost double. Yeah, you better do that, ZURC. Go on my website and buy one of the Ready to Fly Tiny Whoops. As a matter of fact, buy the Emax Tiny Hawk Nano Scout. It's sitting there. It's probably my best Ready to Fly one right now. Go over there. Grab that one. It's $250 retail. I got it up there right now for $200. Everything in the box. Go get it. Trent Scott, no, I am not stoned. You know, FPV has a lot of stoners in it, man. If you've ever been to an FPV event, everybody there looks like they need a shower and they're stoned. Include me. Just kidding. I don't smoke that stuff. I have some whiskey with you though. No, I didn't smoke for a long time because I was thinking about doing some volunteer deputy work, and you can't have THC in your system if you're gonna do any volunteer work. So, but Portland's kind of a crazy place to do volunteer work because we got a lot of random randos running around on fentanyl and whatever the hell else they're on. So you don't know what the hell people are gonna do around here. This ain't necessarily Georgia. I wish it was. Years ago, I met some people from North Georgia. Not the KKK. Maybe they were. I don't know. There were some guys that fly long range up there, and in the mountains, man, that's a nice place to long range. This is beautiful up there. Just gotta pay attention to what neck of the woods you're in, though. Brad Turney gonna send me a care package. Carolina said bait shop tackle. All right, I like it. When I was a kid, I had a cast net, and I used to I get a bucket full of mullet, and I take it to the gas station. And this is how you know I'm a redneck. So I take it to the gas station, and I would sell it to the guy for a penny a mullet. And then I would take like my $2. Usually I had about 200 or so. He'd average it up. Yeah, it looks like 200. Here's $2, kid. I buy like as much candy as I possibly could for $2. That was usually a lot of Fireballs and Bazooka Joes and shit. Some Now and Laters. American cheeses. Must say, I wish I was stoned right now. So, goggles in 3, I'd skip those. They suck. Like, don't be making no fucking memes out of that. Beer or 3 whiskey makes the plane fly me. I hear you. I think like 1 beer makes me a better pilot. But after 1 to 2 to 3, it's time to go back to my tent, go to sleep. I used to do a lot of fly-ins, and some of the best times I ever had was at some of these fly-ins where there's a late night fly-in. The FAA came in and said, hey, you guys can't fly at night. And a lot of the AMA guys said, well, fuck you, we're still flying at night. We're gonna put LEDs on our shit. But we were doing that before, 20 years ago, back when there were diodes. And so we'd have late night drunken line of sight combat. Somebody put a balloon up with an LED inside it, and the first one to pop the balloon would win, like, I don't know, some sponsor would come out and put like a table full of propellers. And so if you could take an airplane up and line of sight pop that balloon, they give you the haul. It's like carnage. It's freaking plane spell. One after another. Bah, bah. Back then was Horizon Hobby Trojans. And when Spectrum went like multi-spectral, we could have like 35 planes flying at the same time. I'd never seen frequency overlap or interference on a Spectrum radio except for at Joe Knoll. I was there one year, and somebody had a brownout because there was probably 4,000 radios going at once, and it is, you know, due to science, 2 radios locked up at some point and somebody crashed. But frequency hopping, that's good stuff. It lets us have air combat. I don't think that's FAA approved. Maybe it is. There's usually one FAA guy lurking around at Joe Knoll somewhere. It's that one awkward guy standing to the side that looks out of place. Just hey, bud, you flying? You flying, bro? Yeah. What you got? What'd you bring to Flight Fest? You got a quad? Nah. You camping? Nah. What up, skirt? Last American Drone Channel. This would be like the Cletus McFarland channel of FPV drones. Nothing, man. Just live streaming this crazy tariff shit. Just looking at the news, talking about how my website's not gonna be it's not gonna be raising prices because I'm here to self pimp myself. Talking about prices over at AKK, GapRC, and nothing's changed yet. Like, I'm refreshing these pages on Banggood, other places. If you're gonna make an order, try to find the US warehouse. If you're ordering from Banggood or AliExpress, try to get it from the US warehouse. And I just kind of keep updating these pages. See if there's anything else comes out. Hopefully President Xi and Trump come to the table. Let's talk it out. Let's make a deal. Look at that picture of Trump. My God, what the hell? They find some weird pictures. Look at that stock market right now, boy. It's humming. All y'all stocks went up. I woke up this morning, I couldn't believe my eyes. I opened up my phone and looked at it. I'm like, holy shit. I'm up $700. Come on. That's good stuff. There she is. She got a nose job. So yeah, we don't know what's gonna happen. Last night I was sitting there and I was thinking, holy Jesus, what's gonna happen tomorrow? And somebody said yesterday, oh, this is gonna kill your business. So first of all, you don't know me. You don't know what business I got going on. This is a YouTube channel. And one of the whole reasons I was able to start this drone channel was because I don't just do business on YouTube. So if you're gonna come at me talking about something, just make sure you know what you're talking about. In the South, we call that running your mouth. Yeah, 90-day pause, except for China. Trump really wants Xi. How do you say that? Xi? She? 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 She, he. They? Them? Oh, watch out, I'm gonna get flagged. I ain't messing with him, though. Y'all see that Dave Chappelle comedy where he was talking about don't fuck with China? The couple people that did, they ended up in this art exhibit, like felons or people that got thrown in jail for political reasons. They ended up as fucking art in a museum, like in a floating thing of formaldehyde, riding a fucking bike, like. Oh, look at you now. You're not so funny now, are you? No, you're not so funny now. You're funny, man, riding a bike. You're naked, no skin, riding a bike. You don't fuck with Chi. Oh, you're funny, man. Maybe they'll make a deal. Let's make a deal. So, for all of you guys, I hope they do. And, you know, Joshua Bardwell, I'm going to go ahead and say it. He did a live stream a couple days ago. Yesterday? I don't know. But I caught the part of it where he said something about his flight controller. It's a brand new one coming out. And he was just going to make more money because he gets a commission. This company produces the flight controller. He gets a commission. It has his name on it. By the way, if you want to put Justin Davis' name on one of these companies, let me know. Trent said it'd be perfect time to start your own RC manufacturing, drone camps worldwide warehouse. Yes, that is a possibility. But it wouldn't be a possibility without you guys, because I'm just like you guys. I'm not freaking stankin' rich. I'm not Rotor Riot. But I would love to be able to make a nice American-made hobby drone. The Cletus version. There would be an American flag on it somewhere. Definitely. Even if all I could afford was one color. One color screen on that frame somewhere. It'd probably be the first one with an American flag on it. I don't know there's any frame out there that has FPV frame with an American flag. That's sad. What the hell? Kickstarter or GoFundMe. Hell, Bot Grinder raised enough money to buy a piece of land that nobody can fly on. So, shit. FPV Park. Everybody's gonna be able to fly this shit. Just me and my friends. Sorry, boys. Dave Penfold said, problem is components. Yeah, that's a big problem. And if China decides to take Taiwan, like they're looking to do, ouch. Shit's gonna hit the fan if that happens. Not just for FPV drones. So, Skirt said America. Yeah, we get real crazy out there. I keep refreshing these websites hoping that something's gonna happen. That maybe that cheese gonna come around. President excludes China. Sheesh. What you need to know. The market soar. Oh, Bernie Sanders is going to take questions. Oh, shit. Oh, watch out, Bernie. Bernie Sanders is going to stir that shit up. I'm surprised Bernie Sanders still got steam left after what he's been through. You imagine being his age and then being that pissed off? Whew. That's a recipe for a stroke. Sam Squatch FPV, why do I give up on TikTok? You know why. I don't even have to say it. Did I post in 2023? I thought I killed it before that. I think they kicked me off there. Honestly. I got kicked off Twitter because I talked about crypto like 4 years ago. They kicked me off Twitter. I couldn't get my shit to, yeah. Now Elon Musk has it, maybe I can get back on there now that it's X. That was another reason back in like 2022 when YouTube started kind of like downplaying some of our videos when we mentioned blockchain or crypto, any of that stuff. Oh, you're a Vermonter? It's a good place to fly in Vermont. It's good vibes in Vermont. I like that place. I was in Burlington, and I did some kiteboarding on Lake Champlain, but when it was frozen, so we took our snowboards. We did kites on ice, it's called. Got some good chocolate up there too. Good coffee. Vermont's a good place. Yeah, Skirt. Twitter was tripping. But somehow I think mine got hacked and some people were posting some like nefarious crypto links and some random shitcoin, you know, buy it now links. We also got hit with a lot of bots that were like crypto coin bots where somebody started a shitcoin and then they would come on there and be like, oh, check out, oh, what's blasting off right now? Check this link. No. A lot of you guys are pretty good bullshit, you know, bullshit detectors out there. Maybe I'll get back on X. I can post whatever the fuck I want on there now. Yeah, Tom Otley says, American-made drones, we have companies everywhere only selling to the government. So that's one of the things we need in the U.S. is we need FPV hobby stimulus. Because China's been doing that for the last 12 years. They've been pumping money into that. They've been having events. This is all public knowledge. They did it right. And we didn't do it. And now we're standing around like we got no parts. I can't even go buy like an American-made frame. Now, I'm not talking about the larger ones like the big Brink companies and Skydio and all that shit. I'm talking about FPV drone. All right, Skirt, take it easy, bro. Appreciate that. Now there is hopefully in the next 5 years going to be some companies popping up, enough companies to support like the growth of the hobby. And that's one of the reasons that I'm still here doing this channel for 11 years. My goal has been to get as many people possible into FPV. That's why I try to keep a lot of stuff super general and easy to understand. I don't go down the rabbit hole of tech and have to have a second engineer on this channel to tell you deep dive into the deepest shitholes of FPV. My eyes start glazing over when I watch a video that's too technical. I mean, part of this is fun too, you know, so you want to keep it fun. Yeah, Tom Ollie said at Air Force Technology PC1. There is a company out there called K9, but again, like those are government drones. They are FPV drones, but they're government. But yeah, we need some hobby stimulus. We need Trump to support the FPV hobby stateside. That'd be awesome. Because I think like everything else in the country, it's like super important that we promote our STEM programs. Like Coach is saying here, directly related to education funding, promotion of STEM, get more people interested. Absolutely. This entire channel has been a STEM program. And I really hated to see the decline of FPV around after 2017, especially into 2020 when the Ukraine war started really showcasing a lot of FPV drone videos. But the Ukraine war, you know, a lot of that drone stuff's been going on since 2014. A lot of people don't realize it's not just 3 or 4 years old. That's been going on for a long time. What happened to the hat troll? There's a hat troll just lurking. I done silenced him. I didn't put him in a timeout though. I was gonna let him run, run amok. He's just looking for something to say, something stupid to say. I don't like your hat. Tough shit. But yeah, tomorrow's a new day. I keep refreshing these pages, you guys. My God. All these news programs, they want you to sign in or pay a subscription. There's no free news now. Gotta get a TV tuner or something. One of those HD TV tuners. They're pretty good if you could live close to a big city. Yeah, none of this shit's changed. All right, we got something going on here. Let's oh my God. So 4 o'clock on the East Coast right now, and we got some executive orders going down. See what's happening.
Accept it if they don't have mathematics. And we're holding back $8 billion. Can we believe? We give Harvard $8 billion. And we're holding back Columbia. We're holding back a lot of the schools because they were woke. And they've hurt a lot of people.
They're holding back Columbia.
Okay.
Because they're woke.
Thank you.
We don't fly any woke drones here.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
There are a large number of regulations on the books. These are regulations that are currently in effect that we believe blatantly violate the law, blatantly violate Supreme Court precedent that otherwise are just blatantly illegal. So what this presidential memorandum does directs the heads of your departments and agencies to follow the law and to cease enforcing regulations that are blatantly illegal or unconstitutional.
It's a big deal. It's really very important that we get these memorialized
Yes, sir.
in Congress. Very important for the long haul, right?
Yes, sir.
Technical difficulties. All right, there it is. Sorry about that.
Over time, regulations accumulate on the books and in the Federal Register, and people aren't taking a close, detailed look at what's on the books and clearing them out as times change or as regulations become dated or ineffective. What this executive order is going to require is each of your departments and agencies,
at least with one eye,
to scrutinize on a continuing rolling basis all of the regulations they actually have on the books and sunset those.
So I don't really know if this has anything to do with
specific reason for keeping.
Yeah, I don't know how much this has to do with China. We got a preview pass on this on the Fox News website too, to be able to watch live. I don't know why they want you to pay for all that shit. Childish Gambino. Where's Kid Rock? How about that outfit? That Kid Rock outfit was crazy. I'm all about the red, white, and blue, but he looked a little bit circus clown. But he was there for a good cause. I mean, he wants to get rid of all the ticket fees and all the bullshit and the scalping. They should crack down on that shit. You can't even buy a concert ticket these days without paying $200 a ticket. A fire hazard. Kid Rock looked like a fire hazard. If I ever step foot in Trump's office, you wouldn't see me dressed up in that outfit. My God, can you imagine?
Process with this.
Oh my God.
Because there were some very bad things that happened with these law firms.
And this firm was very involved in the election misconduct.
What about China, Trump?
Weren't they all involved in the election misconduct? I think they were all involved.
Yes.
Anyway, so they went from $40 million to $125 million, and most of them are at about $100 million. Right?
We need 125 million for the FPV community, please. I'll take that as a
Thank you.
check. Money order.
Thank you, sir. The next presidential memorandum we have for you relates to Miles Taylor. You may recall that Miles Taylor served in the Department of Homeland Security during your previous administration. In his capacity with the Department of Homeland Security, he leaked classified information. He wrote a book under the
That's not good, Miles.
Pseudonym Anonymous.
Bad boy.
Making outrageous claims both about your administration and about others in it. What this presidential memorandum is going to do, one, it's going to strip any active clearance that he has in light of his past activities involving classified information. It's also going to order the Department of Justice to investigate his activities to see what else might come up in that context, given his egregious behavior during your previous administration.
And I had
He
no
needs a
idea
spanking.
who this guy was. I had no idea. I saw him on CNN, or one of them, I guess CNN, a lot. He'd be on all the time, saying that the president is the president. I had no idea. It's like, you know, in
Coach
this office,
is
you have a
cracking
lot
me
of
up.
young people, and they're here. I'll see him for 2 minutes, and I assume he was in the office, but I barely remember him. Barely remember him. It was somebody that went out and wrote a book and said all sorts of terrible things that were all lies.
So if I got a
And it
chance to
was
go
like
in
he
there,
was, like he was.
maybe I go in there in this hat.
This guy said, "Who the hell
No.
is Miles Taylor?"
Full
And he made a
camo.
living on
That's an
going
idea.
on CNN talking about the president.
I go in there full camo.
And I think what he did, he wrote a book anonymous, said all sorts of lies and bad things. And I think it's.
Yeah, David, thanks
I
for
think
hanging
it's
out.
like a traitor. Like it's like spying. He walks into the office. He's supposed.
So, yeah, I gotta mute that. It's in my ear. No news yet about any type of negotiations with China. Hopefully, we'll see that in the next couple days. I don't know how long President Xi is going to make Trump stew. I mean, and honestly, Trump could say, hey, tomorrow it's going to be 150%, next day 200, 250, 300. He could up it as much as he wants, but until he has him at the table, and it's I don't know. Nothing's going to happen until they're both at the table. And so all that crap could go out the window once they do talk. So he could say 350%, so you guys don't worry about it because they're going to eventually get together. They're going to have to. The two largest economies in the world, they have to work together in some aspect. It's not just going to go cold turkey overnight. And, you know, someone said yesterday on the channel, was like, well, I'm not worried about FPV drones. Everything at Walmart is going to be up 125%. And it's right. Everything. Toothbrushes. I don't know anything that's not made in China. Yeah, I do. Guns. Except for guns, okay? Everything's made in China. So it's not going to kill the hobby. We're going to wait around and see what happens. These two are going to get together eventually at some point when all the dick waving's done. And that's what a lot of it is right now. I think the spokesperson said something about boys will be boys. Yes, it will. Especially when it comes to trillions of dollars. Yeah, taking the Panama Canal back and Gulf of America. Yeah, Pete's on that. He's on that. They're gonna make that happen. But again, I'm a civilian. I don't know crap about any of that stuff, what the real deal is down there. It could be a security issue. If it is, then, just like everything else, got to be dealt with. Uh, so if there's a problem, that's what we do. We handle it. We handle problems. Matt said America's balls drop. I think you might be right, Matt. Because see, let me get into this for a second. Now, I love my Chinese drones. I love drones from all over the world. But for the past, I mean, some people say in 50 years, outsourcing, corporate greed, all these companies trying to go out of the country, Mexico, China, all these companies sourcing cheap labor to make maximum profits. They make the product cheaper for us, but at the end of the day, it killed Main Street America, and over 90 factories closed in the past 20 years. 90 factories. Ammo Cat said Chinese guns and Russian cars. Oh my God. Now, if you think about it, I can't think of one Russian car. What is a car that Russia makes? People in charge right now don't know anything about what's anything right now. I wouldn't say they don't know what's going on. They have a pretty broad view of the world, more than a lot of countries. Let's head over to old Banggood over there and refresh that page. Everything is still the same price. iFlight Defender. So I had a delivery come in today, and of course I was in a shower when it came to the door. But I do believe it is my version of the iFlight Defender 20 to review for you guys. So I'm pretty stoked about that. And just looking at the specs, thank God, Jesus, Methuselah, that this quad is rocking the DJI 04 Lite, but it's 2S, baby. And it has, 1103 motors. 1103 is kind of my microburst sweet spot. So great power system on there with 1103s. It'll be a little kind of a playground ripper with a sick camera on there. So I think that's where, if you're going to buy an 04 Lite this year, if you're going to buy something like a Tiny Whoop, get 2S. If you guys screw around with the 1S 04 Air unit, you're going to be disappointed, because the minute it drops under 3.6 volt, the camera's going to freeze up and you're going to crash. And it happens every single battery. Unless you maybe put some kind of warning on there at like 3.8 volt. But, nobody wants to stop flying at 3.8, man. I run my 1S batteries all the way down to like 3.2 volt. And on analog, I can still come back and land at 3.2 volt at the bottom end of a 1S battery. So that's one of the reasons why I'm saying, like, analog is still, the fun factor is still high right there. Like, I'm not frustrated with that setup. The camera doesn't look as good, but I'm not frustrated that, this thing's dropping out of the air every time, every single battery. And I did mention, I don't know if, the DJI engineers are listening. But they definitely need to take this light VTX and combine it into a little flight controller. Now, if they were able to do that, make it an AIO, like what we have right now with analog, it may actually effectively kill analog FPV as we know it. If it was, say they brought it down under $100, if they sold it for $80, that would be a game changer. Orwell Clint says DJI so ahead, they are way ahead. So Tariff War gives the West a chance to actually catch up. So the thing is, we need to, on the hobby side of things, we got 10 years to catch up in 1 to 2 years. So, I mean, Amocat one says, do you fly any Align helicopters? I did 20 years ago. I did. Before I was a drone guy, I was RC. I was a heli guy. I was on Heli Freak, and what was the other forum? Heli Freak and one of the I can't remember. I can't even remember the forum, but forums back in the day were like the place to be for the RC hobby before YouTube, and like I got kicked off of one of those. I think because I mentioned my company name without buying banners on his forum. The moderator like threw me off there because he was like, "Don't you advertise your company on my forum?" Man, you had some stiff dicks on forums back in those days. They loved to swing the ban hammer. They were such a thing. Like 2002 era, 3, 4. I started out with Blade 450, and then I went to a line. I think I went right to a 500. And that 500 flew way better than the Blade 450. If you just looked at the Blade 450, it would break. It had plastic servos, and every time I would come to land as a noob, I would kind of slam it down a little bit, and I would strip the servos in the head. Almost every time. Those servos weren't super expensive, but that's when multi-rotors came out, like a couple years later, and KK2 boards and brushless motors, and all of a sudden I could fly sort of I used to call them copters back in the day because they were quad copters. And people say it's not a copter, JD, you don't know what you're talking about. Well, actually it is a copter. It has rotors that swing around in a circle. So technically it have 4 rotors, it makes it a copter. And then multi-rotors came around. And it just made everything easier without having to deal with servos and all that. But I still have a love for RC helis. I fly a lot of the military scale ones on the channel. We review those. And I have a pretty sick Huey from Flywing. And I still have my old T-Rex 500 with a, it's like hanging up in my garage. I have a T-Rex 500 with a Beast X on there. Took me down that rabbit hole. I used to love that shit. I would drive 3 hours north to go to Debbie's RC World. And the first year I got back into the hobby, man, my accountant, she calls me and she goes, "What is this Debbie's RC World place? You spent $10,000 there." I think she thought it was a strip club. She said, "Who is Debbie?" And back in those days, I was friends with the owner, obviously, because every time I'd come in the door, he'd see me heading toward the airplanes and helis. And they had a flight field outside. Some of you guys from Virginia probably remember this place. Hopefully it's still open. But Les was the owner, and Les would see me coming. He'd be like, "Oh, shit. Here comes Jesse. He's going to buy another plane." And I get a new plane. I take it home. Drive 3 hours all the way back home with his plane in my truck. Super excited. And sometimes I would stop on the side of the road and find a field like a bank or parking lot or something and fly it. Try not to tear it up. But I couldn't wait to get home to fly these things. And we didn't have power banks and shit back then. You had to use like an inverter to try to charge batteries on the road. So we had these ones that kind of plugged into the cigarette lighter. It had 2 little prongs on it. You plug in 2 banana clips to it, and it'll run your charger while you're driving. So I'd charge batteries in the very early days of lipos while I was driving. Very safe, I know. And I remember one of my first electric planes I got. I killed the lipo. This is 25 years ago. And I think that lipo cost like $250 or something. It's big. I think I might have 3S. This plane was like it was an Electrostar. I don't know if you guys remember Electrostar, but it was a giant like 60-inch balsa monocoque trainer. And I tore the front end off of it the first flight I took with it. But I had been flying a couple foamies before that, and just getting back into it. I went through the whole RC evolution like a lot of guys do. You start out when you're a kid, you get married, or you get into high school, you forget about RC and airplanes because you figure out girls and masturbating. So you forget about all that shit. That's kid stuff. And then you get married, and then you remember RC once you're married. So you start flying again. And then most of y'all got divorced. You start RC, start flying, got divorced, and you're still with RC. You didn't break up with that. Yeah, I was putting on cameras on my RC helis back in 2006. I was building gimbals. By 2010, I was filming some of the AMA events with my converted Century Hawk. So I had a Century Hawk that was converted to electric. You know, talk about a Frankencopter. And I had hard start ESC. So imagine like a slow spool, slowly wind up to 2,000, 3,000 RPM. This thing would go from 0 to 80% throttle with a flick of the switch. And I accidentally engaged it one time in the winter. I was bending over it, had a big fat ass jacket on, and I accidentally hit my throttle to go full throttle. And I had my hand on the head of the heli, and this is, these blades are probably 4 or 5 feet long. And that bitch spooled up in my hand 100%. And it almost broke my fingers. I did everything I could do to hold on to that head because that thing was about to fly up and take my face off. It hit me a couple times in the jacket. Luckily, it didn't like cut me up. I think I had Woody blades on the thing. That's how new I was. I was flying Woodies. But it didn't break my fingers. It broke the plastic links in the head. And then it sat there and spun until I could get back on the throttle and put it back to 0. Yeah, helis, man, they're freaking dangerous. Yeah, it was fun. Back then, I had I hacked a little monitor. It was a DVD player that you could put in your RV and you could watch movies. It was like some of the first portable screens that you could take on the road with you. So I got this thing used from some guy, and I opened it up, and I found out where the 12 volt was on it, and I soldered some wires onto the 12 volt and brought it outside the case, and put a XT. No, not XT60. This is before XT60, so it was probably a well, the red ones. I forgot what the hell they're called. 20 years ago. I can't remember. But then I ran it with a 3S, like 3000 battery as my monitor. And back then I had an Emergent RC. It was pre-Fat Shark FPV setup on this heli. And I made my gimbal out of a piece of gutter pipe, some wire, some pool noodles. That thing would vibrate like crazy taking off. And then once I would get into idle up, I would bring that head speed up to about 3,000 RPM, locked into 100% throttle. And that video would smooth out. And I made videos. I put them on, what's the name of that other YouTube service? But I put it on there, and it's called Cape Hatteras in the Air. If you go look that up, you can see these old FPV videos from like 2010 or something. Dean's connectors. There you go. Thank you. My old mind. Man, I hated Dean's connectors. God damn it, I hated those. XD60 and 30 came out. I was a happy guy. I bought my first XD60s at Joe Nall. There were some vendors, a whole bunch of vendors on the vendor row. And I saw this bag full of like yellow gold connectors. And I was like, what the fuck is that? And my friend had always bought shit from Hobby King. He was like, oh man, that's JD. There's some XT60s right there. You got to get you a bag of those, man. You got to replace all the stupid ass, static pop Dean's connectors. Dean's were notorious for a lot of static pop. You see that a lot on 6S. But now they have like static reduction little things they solder onto these 6S drones, like the long range ones especially. I think the new Gep has a static little static anti-static device. So who here wants to see the new Mod 7 V2? Have you guys seen that in person yet? Have you seen it on YouTube? Who wants to see it on the camera? Let me know in the chat if you want to see it. Didn't see like that Goose Guy RS7? I would love to have one of those. Hold on a second. Look what I got here. Oh, this side, other side, other side. Look at that, baby. So maybe one day a company in the US will make something as badass as this. Now, if an investor would get off their ass and come visit me, we can make something like this here. And you guys would proudly buy it. Can I get a Chihu? Bro, this is a sick ride right here. I'm going to do a comparison of this one and the Cine LR7 from iFlight. We're going to go head to head. That one's on the wall back there somewhere on this side. The other side. That side. There are a lot of differences between the LR7, and that was a smooth flying machine. That was nice. Now, there are a ton of differences between these two. So check this out in the very back, and I'll show some of you guys this in the review, but you see this back end on here? Look at that thing in the middle. You see that? What do you think that is? Are there 3 antenna holes for the 04? And look at that stonking GPS in the back there. Phew. That's a new M10. They say that this GPS will get a lock in under a minute. Like almost like a 5 to 6 second lock. That's insane. But this little this extra post in the middle back there. What do you guys think that is? This is the Mod 7 V2. This is a brand new one that's coming out. If you go buy it, you better use my affiliate link, goddammit. Mod 7 V2. So that little post in the back, in the middle, I looked at it and I thought, what the hell? They forgot to send me an extra antenna. I got the TBS version, so I have the Immortal T in the front right there. And this is where I like it too, because as the quad turns around to come back home, you don't lose line of sight back to your module. Now, if it's up here on the top, sometimes when you turn around, you know, you can have something blocking it when you're turning. So it's better to have it on the front. But you should be running GPS return home anyway. So if you fail safe, you shouldn't be dropping to the ground. If you don't run GPS on that long range, you're an idiot. Or you just don't care about your drone. But that little connector back there, that is an extended ELRS antenna setup right there, where there's going to be a tall vertical antenna coming off the very top. So you'd have a third antenna coming back. It's like a stonking antenna coming off here. Now, there has been some interference with ELRS lately and the O4s. I don't know if you guys saw a MadTech video. They've uncovered some interference. So somewhere where O4 is constantly running 2.4, it's interfering with it. So that's a problem at range. If you're flying long range and you have interference with your radio signal, that's bad. They just released an update a couple days ago for ELRS. I think it was 3.5.6 or something like that. And it fixes a lot of those interference issues. I don't know what they did, but there was an explanation about it on Facebook. I gotta give some props out to the guys at the ELRS dev team. That's super nice. So we got the O4 up front, and check out this like aircraft aluminum steel plate above it. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. I feel like it should have came maybe a few more millimeters forward to cover it up just a little more. And then you got this TPU mount for the GoPro just behind it. And I don't feel like that's necessary with the O4s. I would not run a GoPro on this quad, ever. Because I want the max flight time out of my battery with a 7.5 inch. And the motors on here, these are 2809, 1.1. Look at the top of those. That's nice, ain't it? See if that camera can focus. Thick copper coils, super thick inside. Red anodized aluminum bell. And I think these were 1350 kV. So that's in the upper kV realm of what I like on a 7.5 inch or a 7 inch. Typically I like 1250. I've even seen like the Crocodile series run like 1150 kV. And when I'm running 6S or Lions, I want low kV as possible because I want less amp draw. The higher kV, it's giving me more power, more punch, more freestyle capability. But I'm not trying to freestyle this. I want to go fly it for a long time. And just cruise. But pretty good looking frame. Check out the bottom here. Look at that extra carbon bracing going down side to side. Sheesh. The American drone looks like that. They used to make American drones that look like this, and they were called Catalyst Machine Works. Neil Whitley. But I think Neil is doing other things now, so they closed down their company. Look at all those bolts. And you see what I see on the bottom too? See that right there? Look from the side. That's an additional O4 heatsink that they put in there. It's pretty cool. And so what's also different on this one compared to the Sina LR7 is the side plates. The side plates on the Sina LR7 pop off, and these ones are removable by that little tiny M2 screw you see right there. You take that off and you have access to either side for your VTX. And you see where it says GEP RC on there? That logo? on the side. That's a little trapdoor for the USB-C. So that trapdoor comes off. It's like some soft plastic, soft rubber. And you get right to your flight controller. So you don't have to take the whole side skirt off to get to things, which I think is a little more convenient. Now over here on this side, there's no access on the other side for the flight controller. Don't need that. And then over here, there's also access on the bind side for the VTX, which is pretty cool. And then we got two super tall, and these are left-hand circular polarized Momota 2. It's a brand new Momota 2. We have still a little bit of an angle back here on this XT60 connector right there. Let me show you that angle. Probably about 20 degrees. Kind of pissed me off. I wish it was straight up. It's not as crazy of an angle as it used to be. It used to be way back, and that makes you scoot your battery back because some of the larger battery cables are shorter. So you'd have to offset your CG, and that was based on running a GoPro. Now, a lot of us aren't running GoPro, so we don't need this to be angled back. So a little less angle on that, but I've been bitching about that for years because I think the Crocodile, one of GEP-RC's like first bind and fly long range drones, came out like 5 years ago or more. But that's a pretty good looking drone. I'm gonna have some more insight on that one and a full review coming up. Dennis Smith said recommended batteries for long distance and short ripper batteries. So if you want to short rip, get yourself like a 6S 5000 pack or 4500. Maybe a 4500 would be better. But if you want to rip, fly it on a LiPo. If you want to fly long range, like low throttle, you want to find the lowest point on the throttle where it just keeps the nose up. So you want to fly efficient for the long range stuff. If you're going to fly and rip close in, kind of freestyle it, use a LiPo. But Lions don't like high throttle maneuvers, and you should never freestyle a Lion battery. You're crazy. They're not meant for high amp draw, so I wouldn't do that. You're gonna fuck up your Lion. And once a Lion gets down to say 2.8 volt, 2.8 volt and under, you're gonna start damaging the cells. And that battery will get super hot once you get down to 2.6, and you may damage it. But you can fly Lion cells lower than what I would typically fly a LiPo. So set your warning for LiPo different than your Lion. Are you confused? So set your warning level for the LiPo somewhere around 3.8. Be back home at 3.8. On the Lion, you better be back home about 3 volt per cell. And when you're flying long range quad, you need to have per cell telemetry up on the screen because that's what you need to be mostly looking at, what your average cell voltage is. Now, when you land too, when your copter, I'm going to call it a copter because I can. It is a quadcopter. Bitches on the internet. When it comes in and lands, when you disarm it, the voltage that you see on the screen is going to go up. So it's going to be called your resting voltage. So that's different than your under load voltage. When you're under load, you're going to get some obvious sag in the battery. And then when that load is lifted off the battery, so if you land at say 2.8 volt, when you disarm the drone, it's likely to rise to 3 to 3.1 maybe. So you get a couple more parts of a volt. And that's how you but with a Lion, you better be back to home by the time you get down to low 3 volt area. Because I've seen Lions take a shit like a couple hundred yards out from the home plate. So look out for that. Tariff. I feel like we need like some kind of FPV drone tariff t-shirts. Don't tariff on me. Don't tread on me t-shirts. I mean, tariff will just suck for everybody. Suck for China, suck for us, but you kind of have to get what Trump's trying to do. He's trying to equal the playing field so that it's fair for everybody. And from what I've seen on the news, maybe he wants a little better deal for us. We deserve some kind of deal. Got to bring back Main Street America. Bring back FPV to Main Street America. Justin Davis, 2026. FPV president. We're going to make America FPV again. That's a good shirt. Make America FPV again. It's okay to FPV. It's okay. Yes, sir. I think we should go over to the news and see. If anything's changed, I don't see a thing. The stock market's going crazy. There's no problem on the stock market today. How your stocks doing? Mine are doing good. Good. G-U-U-D. Good. Ammo Cat said I can't do what the previous administration has done. Definition of insanity. Well, you're right in a lot of ways. Dennis is worried about those batteries. What brands? Whatever's in stock, man. I like Tattoo. That's Tattu. Tattoo batteries are great for lipos. They might make some Lions, but I think they're pretty expensive. You can also run some GEP Lion. So go to the GEP RC website and you'll see, look for the 6S 8,000 milliamp packs. That's what you want to run on a 7 or a 7.5 inch drone. Look for that. America. $90-day pause rally.
Dang, what's grind? Drop that shit.
No one told me grass was green on the other side. Nobody told me it was okay for a man to cry. Nobody told me it ain't good to bury shit inside. So I grind, push all my feelings aside, cause I just don't got the time. I swear, 10 toes down, back against the wall, but still gon' hold shit down. Try me if you want, it's gon' be one last round. My people, I wipe them out, but the only thing I'm trying to figure out is the grass really green. So many folks out here depend.
You're welcome, bro. You're welcome. If you got any questions, let me know. So we're gonna keep following this. He said RC Moore said I imported gay from China. 125% gayer. Do your thing, do your thing.
Never let that devil in. If they ain't riding for you, go and get some better friends. No one told me grass was green on the other side. Nobody told me it was okay for a man to cry. Nobody told me it ain't good to bury shit inside. So I grind, push all my feelings aside, cause I just don't got the time. I swear, 10 toes down, back against the wall, but still gon' hold shit down.
We're gonna be all right though.
One last round, my people, I wipe them out, but the only thing I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah, man, I'm just here to help.
I ain't no getting out of this. 10 toes stuck, big truck, Mac 10. Them froze up, now Jack let it spin. Real shit gon' penetrate through the pain in the pen. Too many caged in the pen. Dealing with it, everything dim, outside vibrant. Dream of the land, dreamland, eating reals, know them pies pecan. Everything real nice, down and out looking in. But your slice nice too, shit, how much for your land? Cause we been growing the ganja.
So let me know where you guys coming in from today. Let me know where you're from.
Voices in my head help me chill for a bit.
No one told me grass was
Like to hear from you.
bad. Nobody told me it was okay for a man to cry. Nobody told me it ain't good to bury shit inside. So I grind, push all my feelings aside, cause I just don't got the time. I swear, 10 toes down, back against the wall, but still gon' hold shit down.
Let me know if we got any vets in the house.
People, I wipe them out, but the only thing I'm trying to figure out is the grass really green.
The more they love me, the ones that love me is forced to hate me. I'm on the grind for greatness, I can't be taking breaks. Remember harder times, car decline, trying hard to find a job, interviews in a whip with donut ties. Pen to paper, chasing dreams, you can't blame me. Call me crazy, I kept it faithful and made it major. Broke some hearts,
So we got any vets in the house? Let me know, because I'm looking to help a vet out. Anybody with PTSD out there, if you have some things you're dealing with, let me know so I can help you out. FPV helps a lot of people.
It ain't good to bury shit inside. So I grind, push all my feelings aside, cause I just don't got the time. I swear, 10 toes down, back against the wall, but still gon' hold.
Song kind of reminds me of like just the struggles that we have as men in general. We hide a lot of shit, and FPV helps me deal. I think it helps a lot of people deal. 'Cause shit's crazy out there. I mean, you got a lot of personal stuff. And I was talking to somebody recently that's retired military, and I was we were talking about drones, and we're having some beers, and I was telling him that that it's therapeutic. Like flying drones is therapeutic, and like he kind of looked at me like, what? I'm like, oh yeah, bro. Like this shit is therapeutic. Like because when you put the goggles on your face, it's like there's this weird thing that happens. Like it makes you focus on one thing, and it makes you forget about other things. And someone else told me recently too that they ride motorcycles, and that's like one of the things that kind of puts them in the zone, and they forget about all the problems and stuff. So that's therapeutic for him. Everybody kind of has their thing, but if you can find something that's like that doesn't damage your body, like alcohol, drugs, pills, some shit like that, like when you put these on, it's so weird because like your reality, right? Your reality is what you see out of these eyes right in front of your body, right? So what happens with the FPV is like when you put these on, it expands your consciousness outside your own body to somewhere else. It's a really fucking weird thing. Like it takes, because you're out of your own body, and you're flying through these beautiful hills, trees, sunshine, and all of a sudden your consciousness has been extended, out to where your quad is. And sometimes when you hit a tree and crash, you know, the oh shit moment, you take your goggles off, and then you're back right in this body reality that you have. But it's a great way to kind of momentarily escape your body and find joy in something outside yourself. And it also gets people out of the house. You know, I was telling him, like, a lot of these guys tell me they made a lot of new friends. They didn't stay home as much, and it gives them a reason to go out and explore and find new places. It's kind of like when I was growing up, we skated and we were always looking for skate spots. Um, we didn't have a lot of concrete on the Outer Banks where I grew up. Uh, if there's concrete, it was usually shitty concrete and a lot of sand. So back then I had some big mini cubic wheels on like my Steve Stedham board. And as gummy as those wheels were, it still vibrate your ass off when you rode it. But yeah, it's really therapeutic, man. It's really therapeutic. So if you're dealing with that, anything, man, anything, talk about this on my channel before. It's really good for you to do something new. It's good for you.
This bitch, I'm ready. My hitters on ready. All my guns on ready. Lock and load, I'm ready. Pulling up on ready. Hopping out on ready. Snatch your left, I'm ready. At your neck like cousin Eddie. Fuck this bitch, I'm ready. My hitters on ready. All my guns on ready. Lock and load, I'm ready. Pulling up on ready. Hopping out on ready. Snatch your life, I'm ready. At your neck like cousin Eddie. Let's go get this shit out, kicking, flipping, rip that bitch. I'm beat it up and bout it, and I don't need a mask to cover this. I ride for mine for life, come boom, I saint your ass and say a prayer, put quarters on your eyes to pay the reaper, take you out of here. Ain't nothing about this life, this fair, got no remorse and I don't care. Ain't nothing forced, this shit comes naturally.
I noticed somebody in the chat said, get an FPV drone in Barron's hands. That might actually help. Get them tiny whooping around the White House. Just need a little FPV stimulation. FPV stimulus.
Jambo motherfuckers, fuck this bitch, I'm ready. My hitters on ready. All my guns on ready. Lock and load, I'm ready. Pulling up on ready. Hopping out on ready. Snatch your left, I'm ready. At your neck like cousin Eddie. Fuck this bitch, I'm ready. My hitters on ready.
All right, so I'm gonna go check these sites a couple more times before I sign off here today. I just wanted to connect with all you guys while we're dealing with what we're dealing with today. The good news is the stock market's up. That's great. Not everybody's losing their ass today because we see a little bit of silver lining, which I knew would happen. You know, the president's not going to let this shit like just go down the tubes completely. There are some plans in place, so I know stuff's going to get worked out. It's the two biggest economies in the world. It's just going to happen. We're going to make it happen. That's what we do. That's what the United States of America does. We make shit happen. The best day in over 16 years. Wow. So if you go and you look at that, you could look at that. You look at that. You look at that stock market numbers. You know, I was looking on Amazon too. None of the prices have changed. Now, one of them is not available anymore. Okay, so aircraft only, 588. Four left in stock. So there might be some panic buying going on with some DJI stuff. $9.89. Still pretty much the same price. Over at the DJI store too, $7.59. Let's refresh that. Same price. Nothing's changed. So I don't see any reaction from the drone companies as a whole. The distributors like Banggood, all these prices are still the same. We'll have to see what happens tomorrow. But I'm not gonna freak out until I have a reason to freak out. I think we'll be okay. Yeah, right now Amacat said the art of the deal. It's happening right now. So he's just kind of seeing if they'll make a deal. And that is what we're gonna have to do. Oh. Raising China tariffs further, pausing reciprocal tariffs for others. So that's what we saw when we woke up this morning. I don't know if he raised it even more past 125%, but I think this is the same news item we saw earlier. And I'm not just like for Fox News here checking that out. I'm checking all the different news agencies. So don't give up on FPV just yet. We're going to be all right. And if stuff gets a little more expensive, you know what I mean? Like you might have a few less quads. Hold on to your goggles because, you can always get another quad and pair it up. I kind of would like to have a backup pair of my DJI 3 goggles in case they decide to like full out ban DJI or something. It'd be nice to have a couple pairs in case one dies. Because I don't have another pair of FPV goggles right now that are as good as my 3s. You saw it with the goggles 3? I don't think those went up. Let me check that. Oh god, the N3s are on there at $289. Do not buy the N3s. Those things are dog shit. Why do I not see... I don't see the goggles 3 right now. Where are the goggles 3? Are they sold out? Did you guys buy them all? Holy shit. I don't see any goggles 3. I see a bunch of accessories. I don't see any goggles 3. Only the crappy N3s. Oh, here's goggles 3. See options. 500 plus bought in the past month. Holy crap. These may be going out of stock. If you're on the fence about buying goggles 3, eesh, I would advise for it. Yeah. DJI goggles 3 on the... Let's check the DJI store. Still at $4.99. Are they in stock? It says add to cart. Oh, it's going to let me buy some. So I would advise buying some if you need them because it looks like they're off Amazon. Harry said this will be temporary. Trump will be temporary. Unless he gets a third term. What is temporary is goggles 3 on Amazon. Those are gone. I don't see them on Amazon. Unless I'm searching from the wrong section. Let me try this again. All I'm seeing is N3. She. Public service announcement, do not buy N3. I mean, if I had to have a backup pair of N3, I guess maybe. I mean, if it was the end of the world and I couldn't fly anything, I guess N3 would have to do. But it's not the end of the world yet. Not yet. Appreciate that out from Europe. Appreciate the sympathy. There are some things happening, so hopefully they're talking about making it work. Best case scenario is that there are like 0 to 0 tariffs, China, US. Like, I mean, if we made an extra 5%, that'd be great. But even if it was just 0 coming back and forth, they just get rid of it. But I don't know if that can happen. Now, what would offset your tariff costs if we have giant tariffs and then they ended up getting rid of like income tax, that might offset the more expensive things. But if you're not paying it here, you're going to pay it there, right? If you're not paying it over here, you're going to pay it over there. If you're not paying it here, you're going to pay it there. If you're not paying it there, you're going to pay it down here. You're going to pay it somewhere. That's the way it works. Am I right? What's the old saying? Grass, cash, or ass? Ass, cash, grash. Grash. Say that 3 times quick. Cash, grass, or ass? I accept gift cards. Dennis said, I feel lucky. Old fella just gave me a bunch of stuff that, after buying Goggles 3 now, I have 3 sets of HD Zeros and a Walk Snail X. Not sure how to use the HD or Walk Snail yet. HD Zero is about as easy as analog. Walk Snail, firmware updates, a little bit of a pain in the ass. And sometimes linking issues for me. I would just like to see all that shit just work. You know, I've had issues with Walk Snail. But it does look nice. But still, out of all 3 of them, DJI works the best. Aside from HD Zero, probably working the best on 1S Quad over DJI. So HD Zero slaps the shit out of DJI on the 1S Tiny Whoops. And I believe it's lighter than the 04 on a Whoop than this hog. But you got to give it to all these companies for trying out new things, trying to innovate for us, because, you know, innovations are stifled when there's giant things like this happening. And a lot of it boils down to like what you guys will actually buy, what you'll purchase, what you're putting your credit card out there for. You know, because buying something is a big decision these days. But I wanted to do this live stream today because I was kind of hoping that something maybe would change during this live stream. We would see kind of like maybe some kind of deal between China and the US. But not so far. And I also did want to have you on here just so we could check into the different websites together and see if anything changed, if any prices were increased. The iFlight website, looking at the Senate LR7 with the 04 on there, that was still the same price. It's $849 with a TBS Crossfire Nano diversity receiver. So as of 5:14 p.m. East Coast time, all the prices on all the FPV websites are still the same. So I think all the FPV companies are doing the same thing that all of us are doing. They're just kind of sitting back and waiting to see what happens. And it may be that you can purchase it for the $849 price on their website and then get free shipping or whatever they offer, discounts, whatever. And then once your item gets to the border, the tariff is applied to it, and then they bill you as it's coming to your door. So your carrier may bill you the tariff. So I don't know if that's right or not. Somebody could chime in on that, but that may be why we're not seeing the prices increase just yet. And some of those DJI products that we saw not on Amazon right now, like the Oath or the 3 goggles, those may be off Amazon right now because they might be shipping from China. And DJI might have said, "Oh, hold on, wait a second. We gotta get those off there." Somebody orders them and they are, expecting to pay that price, not double or more than double. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I appreciate the fan supporter subscription you got there, ZURC. You can be a supporter on the channel if you want to. I think it's like $2.99 a month, and then I pay more attention to you. But again, like, check out the website. If shit gets really crazy, we do have the option to fall back on our website. I have a lot of different stuff if you guys need stuff, and stuff gets really crazy expensive, I won't like double my prices. And all my prices are the same right now. They're below retail. But then again, all my stuff has been flown once by me. I say once, maybe one session, 1 or 2 sessions. But at least it works. There has been the occasion where I bought something and I got it, like batteries, for example, that I bought overseas. I waited a month for them to come in, and then I had like a bad cell, one of the batteries. And then I had to go through the whole warranty process and try to get a replacement. And eventually they'll send you another battery if you can prove, or it used to be, that something's wrong with it. But that's kind of the thing you're up against when you order stuff from China too. If you ordered something from me and I didn't know that something was damaged on it, we could figure it out together, and I can make good on it. For sure. Because you know where to find me. Right here. But I appreciate all you hobby guys hanging on and being a part of this wild ride, because it's going to get crazy. We're going to take some big turns coming up in the next week or so. So keep your fingers crossed. Hang in there. The hobby's not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Maybe some of this will bring more money stateside to be able to produce some FPV drones for you guys, and help grow our hobby. because it's an awesome hobby. It's a lot of fun, and I love it. So go America. And until next time, I will see you on the next one.